For the New Orleans Saints, 1989 was one of the most emotionally draining seasons in their 23-year history. On the strength of back-to-back winning seasons, expectations ran high, and for the most part, the Saints did not disappoint. They featured the league's best defense against the run, as well as a relentless pass rush, while their balanced offense was highlighted by the exploits of Eric Martin and Dalton Hilliard, the NFL's leader in touchdowns. But an early season string of tough, gut-wrenching losses that were decided by a few inches, a few points, a few seconds, compromised the Saints' chances for postseason glory. But having to fight back from a painful 1-4 start gave an inkling to the character these Saints possessed. For fight back they did. By December, there were few NFL teams playing as well as the Saints. In a furious and inspiring finish, the Saints toppled the powerful Buffalo Bills and slugged it out on national television with the tough Philadelphia Eagles, emerging victorious in a triumphant comeback. In the season's final week, they crushed what hopes the Colts had for the playoffs in a convincing victory that secured yet another winning season. As a new decade begins, the Saints are heading in the right direction. And hopefully they can begin the 1990 season like the way they finished in 1989. In 1989, the Saints got off to a quick start and treated the Whodats and their friends to the most lopsided opening day victory in team history. For the first time ever, the Saints opened the season with a shutout, easily downing the Dallas Cowboys 28-0. It was a powerful start to a promising season, and it brought the Benson Boogie out in full force. But over the next 4 weeks, the Saints sadly shuffled their way to the bottom of their division. In a series of key games against the Packers, Redskins, and 49ers, the Saints saw big first-half leads disappear into tough last-second losses. They were losses marred by controversial calls, like whether Packer wide receiver Jeff Query was in bounds on that crucial 4th and 17, or whether Jerry Rice had full possession of the ball before he hit the goal line. The bitter nature of the defeats made Jim Mora and his men fighting mad. It set the tone to a season that would be an uphill struggle as the Saints battled to regain the winning form they had established in the previous 2 seasons. In Week 6, it was the New York Jets who first felt the sting of the Saints' wrath. For the second time in the young season, the Saints defense did not allow a touchdown, while Bobby Hebert's 2 touchdown tosses lifted New Orleans to a slump-ending victory.
And Hebert will throw. He's got Martin. He makes a move. Look out. 40, 35, 30, a foot race, 20, 15, 10, 5, slips a tackle, and he's in for the...
In Los Angeles, it was Hebert again connecting on touchdown passes to Eric Martin and Dalton Hilliard in the Saints' 40-21 thrashing of the Rams.
Wants it all for Martin, and he has got it for the touchdown.
Against L.A., Hilliard scored 3 touchdowns and added 2 more a week later as New Orleans cruised to victory over Atlanta.
Here's Hebert. He's confused as well and rolling around, throwing over the middle. Hilliard's made the catch. 5-4, touchdown!
The Saints' 3rd straight victory also featured a stellar performance by the defense, which recorded 6 sacks. As they climbed back to 500, it was apparent that they had improved themselves in many areas. One of those areas was the pass rush, where the Saints registered 16 more sacks in 1989 than they did in 1988. The front wall of Wilkes and Warren combined with linebackers Jackson, Swilling, Johnson, and Mills to register 47 sacks, the league's 4th highest total. So many sacks in so many ways, each with its own style and flair. For example, there was the neither rain nor sleet nor snow could prevent a Saint sack. There was also the let's all meet at the quarterback sack. How about the seize, strip, and let's search for the football kind of sack? There was America's sack. And in what was the most popular of these variations, there was the Swilling sack. There were 16 of them in all, as number 56 emerged as one of the NFL's most destructive forces in 1989. Swilling even sacked running backs in a season of defensive dominance that led to his first ever Pro Bowl appearance. In some ways, Pat Swilling's season was symbolic, for he had started slowly only to come back and come on strong. Something the New Orleans Saints would have to do throughout much of 1989. There have been a number of reasons why Jim Mora has been a winner with the Saints. One has been his ability to instill a combative spirit in his troops. Another has been his capable blending of youth with age in an effort to find the right kind of chemistry needed to sustain a winning program. In 1989, a number of young performers made valuable contributions to the Saints' cause. One was second-year linebacker Brian Ford, who played a vital role on Saints special teams. Another was second-year receiver Brett Perriman, who displayed flashes of brilliance in a supporting role. Then there was number 35, Bobby Morse, who was signed and cut, re-signed and cut again, before finding a home returning kickoffs.
He usually spreads his kickoffs around. Hits a good one here, down to the 1-yard line to Bobby Morse, back to the 10, running to the center of the field. He crosses the 20. He's across the 25. He's in a foot race with Murray. He may beat him. He's at the 40. He's at the 35. He's at the 30. 25. Touchdown, New Orleans! Holy cow.
Rookies who made an immediate impact in 1989 included number 70, Big Kevin Haverdink, the young tackle who bolstered the Saints' offensive line. Although his season ended in injury, Rookie receiver Floyd Turner showed that he had the potential to be a barn burner.
Snap is back. He retreats. He looks, throws it over the middle, and it is caught by Turner. He's broken a tackle. He's at the 30, 25, 20, 15, 10, 5. Touchdown, Saints!
On defense, first-round pick Wayne Martin made the most of his playing time, while rookie cornerback Robert Massey, number 40, moved right in as a starter. Massey intercepted 5 passes, and his continued development should help a Saints secondary that includes reliable veterans like Toy Cook, Milton Mack, and number 39, Brett Maxey.
From their 20-yard line, Grogan will have to throw again over the middle, and it's incomplete, and it's going to be intercepted. It's Maxey who's coming back with it, and it's going to be a touchdown for the Saints.
While the Saints will look for improvement in the pass defense, they already have an abundance of riches in their passing offense. Consider, for example, number 80, Brett Perriman. This talented youngster would start for most teams. But on the Saints, he's a reliable backup to number 87, Lonzel Hill, and number 84, Eric Martin.
Hebert throwing in the end zone for Hill. Touchdown!
Looking for Eric Martin on a quick pass.
And that's where it is, that's where it goes, and that's a touchdown.
Hill and Martin comprise one of the NFL's most dangerous duos of starting wide receivers. Each man perfectly complements the other, for both possess speed and strength and an instinctive knack for going after the ball in difficult places. While the Saints' aerial attack was often explosive, their running game was more workmanlike. In a key Week 11 showdown in Atlanta, the Saints went over the 500 mark as Buford Jordan twice punched his way into the end zone, while Dalton Hilliard racked up a season-high 158 yards rushing.
2nd and 6 from the Falcon 22. Pitch goes to Hilliard, sweeping right, cutting up. There's a hole. He's at the 10. He's at the 5. He is in for the touchdown.
In a year when the Saints often struggled, Dalton Hilliard was a gem of consistency. Although he stands only 5 feet 8 inches tall, this Louisiana native is as tough as they come. In 1989, he carried the ball more than 300 times and rushed for 1,262 yards in his first season as a full-time starter. Versatility is also part of Hilliard's makeup. Indeed, in 1989, he emerged as a human scoring machine, whether he was running, passing, or on the receiving end of the football.
1st and goal from the 3-yard line of the Skins. Pitch back to Hilliard, sweeping left, trying to turn the corner. He's in for the touchdown! Handoff goes to Hilliard. He's got a hole. 5, touchdown! Pitch goes to Hilliard, sweeping right, stop, touch, dive, touchdown, New Orleans! Touchdown! Touchdown!
No player in the NFL scored more touchdowns as Hilliard found a way into the end zone 18 times. And nobody in the NFC gained more total yards from the line of scrimmage. Yet despite Hilliard's Superman status, even he was powerless to prevent the LA Rams from delivering a fatal blow to the Saints' playoff chances in 1989. In that pivotal, nationally televised Sunday night game, the Saints reverted to their early season form and failed to hold on to a big lead.
Lansford trying to do it now from 31. Snap is back, kick is up, and it's history.
The overtime loss to the Rams was followed by a flat effort in Detroit that virtually eliminated the Saints from the playoff hunt. With 3 weeks remaining in the season, it was apparent that changes were needed. The team began a transition at Buffalo with John Fourcade entering the starting lineup at quarterback. With a demonstrated sense of urgency and a new competitive flame burning, the Saints began a 3-week mission to end the 1989 season with their pride and honor intact.
Rolls right, now looks left, dumps it off to Hilliard. He's making a move on Smith. He's at the 40, he's at the 35, the 30, he's at the 20, 15, 10, 5, touchdown!
In Buffalo, one team was a division winner, striving for a home field playoff advantage. The other, a desperate, determined team, fighting against the possibility of a losing record. In the final minutes, it was the Saints who overcame a tough Bills defense to rally for a dramatic come-from-behind victory.
This is a 22-yard attempt by Anderson. Right hash mark, snap is high. Fourcade gets it down. Anderson puts it up and good. So the Saints drive down.
1 week later, the Philadelphia Eagles came to town, needing a win to stay alive in the chase for the NFC East title. They would not get it.
Right, throws to Martin, and he's got it for the touchdown. A one-handed grab at the goal line and in for 6. Jordan, the lone running back behind Fourcade on 2nd and 7 from the 35 of the Eagles. He's going to drop straight back, be flushed right, continue to roll right, still rolling, still looking, throwing over the middle. Caught by Hilliard at the 20, 15, 10, 5, touchdown New Orleans!
Against the Eagles, the Saints sacked, stripped, and ultimately trapped elusive Randall Cunningham for a safety. Although they fell behind in the second half, Fourcade rallied New Orleans to a victory that cost Philadelphia a division title.
Hilliard behind Fourcade. John drops straight back, pumps, throws it off his back foot into the end zone. Jump ball. Martin catches a touchdown.
On Christmas Eve, the Indianapolis Colts came to the Superdome with visions of a playoff berth dancing in their heads. By the time they left, however, the only thing dancing in their heads were visions of Saints tacklers who pounded the Colts right out of the playoff picture. The Saints crushed and demoralized the Colts, limiting them to a pair of field goals, while Dalton Hilliard's record 18th touchdown ignited a furious second-half rally that saw New Orleans roll up 31 unanswered points. It was fitting and symbolic that the Saints finished 1989 with their best overall effort of the season.
Saints from the 2-yard line. This would do it. Forcade's going to roll right. Open. He's got Brenner wide open. He'll roll in for the touchdown, untouched. He could have thrown it to Brenner. He scampered in. The Colts didn't lay a finger on him. Here's Ramsey to throw on 1st and 10 from the 46. Cooks picked it off down the far sideline. Nobody to beat. He's going to go all the way for the touchdown. Merry Christmas, Toy, and Happy New Year, Saints fans.
In 1989, these Fighting Saints battled back from a 1-4 start to register their 3rd straight winning season. Indeed, over the last 3 years, only the San Francisco 49ers have won more games. As a testament to just how far this franchise has come over the last few years, the National Football League has selected the Saints to travel to England in August of 1990 to represent the NFC in the annual American Bowl. It will be there in London's quaint old Wembley Stadium where the New Orleans Saints hope to begin the 1990 season like the way they finished in 1989.